Hi, and welcome to the Toon Goons, the podcast in which we take an adult and critical perspective into the world of cartoons and animation and analyze how they affect the pop cultural landscape at large. I'm one of your hosts, Nikki.
I'm Nina.
And I am Tooch.
This week, we are talking about Samurai Jack, a show that we've been meaning to talk about for a while. Pretty much, it's been on the list since we started the podcast, and we finally got around to it.
Yeah, a show everybody's been wanting us to talk about.
Including us.
Day one.
Yeah, we've been wanting us to talk about it.
So let's talk about it. Before we talk about it, let's talk about news.
Blah. First bit of news is in regards to our little Kickstarter that we've been following, Cannon Busters, the animated series. And just an update on the Kickstarter is that even though the Kickstarter itself is over, you can still pledge using PayPal on their website. So if you missed out and you want to give them money, you can still do that. And I would encourage it.
Yeah.
It's a really cool project.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. And, LaShawn Thomas emailed us specifically about that, which was super cool. So yeah, I would like to pay him back because I missed the Kickstarter the first time around.
Yeah, I think it's a limited time, but it's for pledges from $25 to $500. And there are some rewards that are left over from the campaign that people can earn if they pledge now. So even though it's not technically the campaign, you can still give your support and you can still maybe earn something.
Yeah, that's the thing a lot of Kickstarters do, because Kickstarter doesn't accept PayPal because it's some kind of Bronze Age website. So a lot of successful ones will do an additional PayPal push.
Yeah, a lot of... This one in particular, you needed to have an Amazon account, and I know a lot of people couldn't do that. So this is a way for those people to support this project, which I think is nice, because, a big animated piece like this could always use more money.
Yeah.
Please. It looks super cool, and I'm poor, so I can't. So you guys should.
I already did. The pilot is scheduled to be released in the fourth quarter of 2015, sorry. So hopefully they'll make that mark. That seems sort of like a short mark though, but hopefully it's enough for them.
Have they said how long the pilot's going to be? Based on current donations? Because I know that was the thing, is the more money they made, the longer it was going to be.
I don't know, because the goal was $120,000. And they raised over $136,000, so not too much more than their goal. I'm not sure exactly where the length is at this point, but...
Probably not too much longer than the minimum.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, it's probably going to be an 8 to 10 minute short at this rate, maybe a little bit longer. But they wanted to make it a full 24-minute episode, but that was a stretch goal, which they didn't make. But maybe they can make it now that it's opened on PayPal, so...
So pledge, you mooks.
Yeah, it's super cool. If you don't remember what it's about, it's this crazy adventure. It's about friendship, and there's robots and crazy shit everywhere, and it's sort of like a callback to those fun animated adventure shows, like for adults in a way. It has a lot of cool people working on it. It's got just a lot of things to be excited about. And if you should totally check it out and see if you can afford putting a little money towards it. Or spreading the word, too. That helps.
That's free. Social media web 4.5 or whatever the fuck we're up to.
Next is pretty exciting because Disney XD has ordered a second season of Star vs. the Forces of Evil.
That is ridiculous.
Yes, considering only one episode has aired at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I thought
so must have done pretty well.
Only one block. There's 2 episodes, right?
Yeah, 11-minute episodes aired in one block.
So still, that's because when you told us that, I was like, wait, what? Have I been missing the show? No, just those 2.
No, it's just those 2. They air it all the time, actually. I watched it after Gravity Falls this week. And apparently it's getting good enough
great for that show.
Reviews.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like, the article mentioned that, like, all the fan response and art and stuff, and, like, that's been going on since before this even aired, since all we had was a, like, bootleg camcorder of the opening or something. People have been all about this show. And I'm glad it's as good as we all hoped it would be.
Yeah, and its official premiere, like, on Disney XD isn't going to be until March 30th. Like, what we got was a special sneak peek thing that they did ahead of time, but the show's not actually starting until March, and they're already ordering a second season.
Wow.
Do we know how many episodes we're looking at?
I don't know. Let me see if it's up somewhere.
Probably, 26, 11 minutes. That just seems like the standard at this point.
Yeah, we don't know exactly how many.
Yeah, I would assume 26, 11 minutes of 13.5-hour blocks. I mean, I guess it also depends on how they choose to air it, because if they're going to do the Cartoon Network route, or if they're going to stick with, like, the old school,
No, they're going to stick with the old school, looking at the schedule, because there's going to be the March 30th is going to have the 2 episodes, and then the next time they're going to air is going to have another 2 episodes at once. So they're going to stick with the half-hour block. And then
can I just say that when Cartoon Network first started doing those 11-minute only segments, I was skeptic, but now I love the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was cheating somehow, and now it works. I don't know.
Well, it felt like it was cheating because they were giving us half what was the standard for, like, our entire lives.
Yeah, it's true, because, like, they still
But I
ran
know Disney
the episode as, like,
XD
one
will
block.
use an 11-minute slot to, like, fill in time, because they show a lot of movies and stuff.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to, unlike, say, a show like Gravity Falls, where the whole thing is half an hour, a show like Star, they can put it here and there when they need to fill in time, which should hopefully help with ratings and getting kids to like it.
A Cartoon Network did that forever, though. Like, they would air a movie and then there'd be some leftover time, so they'd show, like one Johnny Bravo.
And that was fun.
And it's, like, always the same one.
Yeah. First, like, what? Like, I want to know if that was just, like, a fluke, or if they specifically had, because some cartoons, I remember I would see specific episodes, like, 30 times, and then the other ones I only ever saw once. I want to know how intentional that shit was, because it bugged me.
But I'm excited for more Star. I again, like I said, I watched it again this week, and it's so fun. And I want it.
It's the funnest.
Yeah, I watched the theme song again and then had to go back to Jack in it. Which is to say, marathoning Samurai Jack.
For a split second, I forgot.
You forgot the gag.
Yeah, and I was, like, really like, whoa.
Alright, what's next?
Next is a little bit of Simpsons news, which this piece is fun. It's simple. It's fun. So a fan, an indie Australian animator team, Paul Robertson and Yvonne Dixon, created a pixel art fan tribute to The Simpsons, and they basically recreated the opening themselves. And they posted it online on February 1st, and it was just like a fun fan tribute, but, you know, the makers of The Simpsons found it. Showrunner Al Jean looked it up and was like, this is great. We're going to air this on TV. So this little fan project is actually going to be airing on TV in the front of a upcoming Simpsons episode, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that is really neat.
It's a really cute pixelated style. Like, it's really adorable, and it's really accurate to the animations from the opening, you know, the classic animations everybody knows. Like, I'm watching this gif of Marge's hair doing that flippy thing, and it's really fun. Like, I think that's super neat that you can just make something and then the creators will like it enough they'll put it on TV.
Yeah, it's that kind of chunky pixel art that you see in a lot of indie games recently. Like, none of this shit's capable, like, on an NES, but it's still cool and cute.
It aired on the 15th of this month, so it was the day after Valentine's Day. That's Sunday. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Even though The Simpsons hasn't really been doing much to garner attention, that was a nice gesture, I think, of them to do that. So, yay.
Yeah, that's pretty unprecedented. Because, like, everybody... I feel like, especially when you're a kid, everybody's like, oh, man, you know, maybe I'll, like, fucking, like, draw fan art and, like, mail it to them, and then they'll see it. And then this is, like, the new Web 4.5 version of that.
And there's one more bit of news, but this is not fun or happy much at all. Gary Owens has passed away over the week. He died on the 12th. Gary Owens, he's done a lot of voice work, particularly known for Space Ghost and a lot of other Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Yeah, the original Space Ghost, not the coast-to-coast one. That dude's still around, not doing much.
Yeah, and he's had a really prolific career doing all kinds of voice work, radio work. You know, he worked on... He also did some writing, too. Apparently it says he wrote for Jay Ward's company for the series of Rocky and Bullwinkle and a lot of other things. He was an announcer on Sesame Street. He was one of the original contributors to The Electric Company on PBS.
He was on Laugh-In, which was like a big thing before all three of us were born. Like a huge thing. That was a huge deal that just I don't think it's really bled down to the this current generation, but like that was a big thing.
Yeah, because that's what all the media is going with, like Laugh-In voice actor announcer, like that's the headline of all the articles.
Yeah, but he apparently lent his voice to more than 3,000 cartoons. You know, back in the day where that was
back when it cost $5 for Hanna-Barbera to make a whole season, and they're just pushing out all kinds of concepts and making the craziest shit. God, I love Hanna-Barbera for that.
Yeah, and he worked on Blue Falcon, even like the Batman, the old Hanna-Barbera Batman, or not Hanna-Barbera, but that really old Batman cartoon. Just like all those old cartoons that you don't really think about, but then you'll like find weird gifs of it online and be like, oh,
he's probably all over Boomerang right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in 2011, and he was in a cold opening for Batman the Brave and the Bold, because Batman the Brave and the Bold, like before the actual episode would start, before the theme song, he would have like a 2-minute adventure, and for one episode, he had an adventure out in space with Space Ghost, and they actually got Gary Owens to come back and voice Space Ghost again, and you could super tell, which was how I could tell, because I didn't know who Gary Owens was, but I was like, that voice, he sounds like a super old guy, so they probably got his original voice actor, and I looked it up and I was like, yes, that's super cool.
Yeah, he seems like a really cool guy, and it's sad to hear that he's gone, but he lived for a while. He died at 80. Apparently he was type 1 diabetic since he was 8. And I guess like there's being a lot of his family's donating a lot to the Children's Diabetes Foundation after his death, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah. But, you know, thank you, Gary Owens. I mean, I wasn't alive for a lot of the things that you helped make, but I've seen, like, the trickle-down of it, and it's great stuff, and I'm glad it exists.
He was in SWAT Cats. He was Commander Farrell, that giant dude. He was basically their J. Jonah Jameson. That show was neat.
Cool. SWAT Cats. Thank you for SWAT Cats.
Thank you for Sesame Street. I mean, holy crap.
Yeah.
That's our news. I don't think we've said this in a while. If you have news stories that you want us to talk about on the show, send them in either by email or a Tumblr ask, message, submission. I think those might be 3 different goddamn things.